4.6, it is problem solving, and we're going to be using a lot of deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning just means that we're going to take the conclusions that we already know to be true to prove other things that are going to be true. So in this first example, we have A being parallel to B and C being parallel to D. So now we want to know, if we know measure of angle 1 is 60, what is the measure of angle 6? So we are looking clear down here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I know the measure of angle 1. What other angles can I possibly find from angle 1? Well, angle 1 is corresponding to angle 2. So I know that angle 2 is also 60. And then I'm going to take a quick look, and I know that that means that this angle right here is going to be 180 degrees when I include angle 60. So right here, this line right here is 180 degrees. So I know 180 minus 60 is going to equal that other one. So that's 120. So I know X right here has to be 120 degrees. If I know that 120 degrees is going to be right here, then I also know that angle 6 is a corresponding angle to that. So I know that angle 6 has to be 120 degrees. So I hope that made sense. The other thing that you can do is you can look at it and you can say that you know that 4 is going to be 60 because you know that angle 2 is 60. And you know that because angle 1 is 60. So if this one is 60, then these two are on this straight line, so they are supplementary, and that makes this one 120, because once again, 60 plus something is going to have to equal 180 degrees, which still gives us X is 120 degrees. Okay, let's try another one. Pause your video and try and see what you can find for the measure of angle 3, knowing that this particular angle is 105 degrees. Okay, now that you are back, let's take a good look at it. We know that this angle right here is 105, so we know that this one is going to be a corresponding angle, so this one is 105 degrees. We know that this 105 that I just pointed out and angle 3 are also corresponding angles. So we know that those two are going to be equal. So therefore, angle 3 has to equal 105 degrees. You could have done it the other way too. So you know that this one is corresponding to this one. And then you know that this one is corresponding to number 3 as well. So either way, 105 degrees. On this particular problem, we know already the measure of angle 1, 2, and 3, and we know that 1 is an exterior angle, and so it is going to equal the other two angles added together. Remember that when you are doing this, you need to go ahead and make sure to combine like terms on the same side of the equal sign. So these two are going to make it 6x, and then plus 11 and plus 1 is going to make it plus 12. So I'm going to have 7x minus 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and move numbers to either side of the equal sign. Remember, you must be fair and do to one what you're going to do to the other. So I'm going to take away 6x over here. And this allows me just to have x left. I'm going to bring down my negative 8 or my minus 8 and my 12. Then I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Remember, you're going to undo it by doing the opposite. That lands at 20, so x equals 20. Now I'm going to plug it right back into the equation. So I have 7 times x minus 8, and I just found out that x is 20. So that makes this 140 minus 8. That makes it 132 degrees. So measure of angle 1 is 132 degrees. You can plug it right back in to find the measure of angle 3, which is going to be 31, or you can find the measure of angle 2. So 5 times 20 is 100, plus 1 equals 101. And then both of these angles right here should add up to be 132, which in fact they do, so that's a good check. And I've gone ahead and plugged in all my numbers, and I know that angle 1 plus angle 2 is going to equal angle 4. We learned that in our last one. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to combine all like terms. So that gives me 4x plus 11 equals 5x minus 4. Now that I've combined my like terms, I'm just going to go ahead and move things across. I'm going to move my 4x over. I just looked at my 4 and my 5 and I saw which one was bigger, and I want to keep my x positive just because it's easier. It's a little bit less work. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides, and I'm going to get 15 equals x. And then it says, what is the measure of angle 4? So now I'm going to plug in. I have 5 times x, and I know that x is now 15 minus 4. So 5 times 15 is going to be 75 minus 4. So measure of angle 4 is 71 degrees. And then you can go ahead and find, drop them in, and you can find all of your other angles as well. Our next example says, can you conclude that the triangles are similar? And we want to justify our reasoning. When I'm looking at this, the first thing that comes to mind is that all of these angles are going to add up to be 180 degrees because they're all interior angles. So I'm going to go ahead and work all of that through. 5x minus 3, and all together that's going to be 180 degrees. My first step is to go ahead and combine all like terms. So I'm going to combine all my x's. So I have 3x and 2x, and remember the sign goes with it. So I have 3x plus 2x plus 5x is 10x. I have plus 5 plus 8 and then minus 3. And so that's going to give me a plus 10 equals 180. I'm going to subtract out my 10 on both sides. I'm going to have 170 left equals 10x. Then I'm going to undo that multiplication by division. So I have x equals 17. Now that I have that, now I'm going to plug it right back in, and I'm going to, for each one of these, so I'm going to find the actual angle. So I have 2 times 17 plus 8, and that angle is going to be 42 degrees then. I have 3 times 17 plus 5. So when I put that into my calculator, I'm going to get 56 degrees. And I'm going to have 5 times 17 minus 3, and that gives me 82 degrees. Okay, now that I have this triangle all labeled, now I'm going to look at my other triangle. Once again, I have all interior angles, so I'm just going to add them together. 8y plus 6y plus 11y plus 5, and I know that's going to equal 180 degrees. Okay, all of my y's are together, so I'm just going to combine those. 25y plus 5 equals 180. I'm going to get rid of that 5 first, so I have 175. And then the mental math here says that I know that 3/4 is going to equal 75. So that means that 7/4 is going to equal $1.75. So y has to be 7. Now that I know that y is 7, now I'm going to plug it right back in. So I have 6 times 7, so that one is 42. I'm going to have 8 times 7, so this one is 56. I'm going to have 11 times 7 plus 5, and that angle is going to be 82 degrees. Now that I have these, I'm going to go through and I'm just going to check and see, are they the same? So I have an 82 and an 82. I have a 42 and a 42, and a 56 and a 56. So are they similar? Yes, they are. And the math has proved it. I am saying that because all 3 angles on the inside are the same as the other triangle, then those 2 are similar. So this one says which triangles are similar, and you should be able to tell by looking at them, but we also want to be able to prove it with math. So as I work this one through, my very first one says that we are going to combine all of our x's. So here I have x plus 2x, and that's going to equal 180. Well, that's 4 x's, and that equals 180. So I'm going to divide by 4. X equals 45. Labeled this triangle. I have 45, 45, and 90. Now my next one, I'm going to have 2y plus another y plus another 3y, and all of that's going to equal 180. So together I have 6y equals 180. Divide by 6. Y is going to equal 30. Knowing that this one is 30, this one is 60, this one is 90. Okay, let's look at our last one, because once again, we can't just look at it and say it looks similar. We have to be able to prove it mathematically. So once again, I'm going to combine all my like terms, plus 30, and that's going to equal 180 together. So I have 3z plus another z, that's 4z, plus another 2z's, 6z. I have a minus 30 and a plus 30. Well, minus 30 plus 30 is just nothing. So I'm going to say plus 0 equals 180. We never have to put in our plus 0. Okay, so we have just 6z equals 180. I'm going to divide by 6. So z equals 30. So if z equals 30, that one equals 30. And then 2z plus 30. So once again, 2z is going to be 60 plus 30 is going to give me 90 degrees. And 3z is going to be 90 minus the 30. So this one is going to be 60. So now I can prove mathematically that triangle 2 and 3 are similar because they all have the exact same angles. You need to have at least 2 angles to be able to prove that they are the same. Okay, so make sure that you're not slacking off on showing your work, but you do only have to have 2. So once you have 2, you can stop. Okay, that's it. We're going to be problem solving, putting everything together that we have worked on all of topic 11, and then we are going to be prepared to test. I will see you in class.